Hi students, today our topic is In Love, a poem by Kamala Surayya. I think I don't want to, or you don't want, get many information about this poet. She's very familiar with you, and she's a noted writer, a renowned poet, and a famous columnist. You have already heard about this poet. Anyway, as an introduction, I may tell you something about her. She has written in English and also in Malayalam. At the same time, she was also very well versed in Hindi language. Her pen name was Madhavikutti. Her married at the time of her marriage, her name was Kamala Das. And traditionally, she is a writer because her mother, Nalapat Balamani Amma, was also a famous, renowned writer, a poetess, and her family has a deep connection, bond with some activities in Malayalam literature. Nalapat family is very famous in Kerala, and the V.M. Nair, her father, was former managing editor of widely circulated Malayalam Jayali Madhubhumi in those time, and as I told you, Balamani Amma also was a renowned Malayali poetess, and she spent her childhood in Calcutta because her father just employed there. And then later, like her mother, Balamani Amma, Kamala Das also excelled in writing. She has been widely read as the confessionist poet and a type of feminist, and such type of reading is there on her. And at the early age, through the influence of her great uncle Nalapat Narayana Menon, he was also a prominent writer. At the age of 15, she got married to bank officer Madhav Das. This person, Madhav Das, just encouraged her writing interest. So she got inspiration from her husband. But in this poem, In Love, while we just go through that poem, sometimes we may feel that she is talking about her husband. Really, it is not about her husband, I think, in my view, because that person was just very encouraging one to her in her career of literature. She was noted for her many Malayalam short stories as well as many poems written in English. And once she told about herself, her quoting is like this: "Poetry does not sell in this country, India." And some of her columns also, she has just made such statements. Her first book of poetry was Summer in Calcutta. Why I just quoted here that one, because this poem In Love has been taken from that one, the Summer in Calcutta. That book was the first poetry book of Kamala Das. She has written about love, she has written about betrayal, and she has also written about the consequent anguish of a woman in those times. Okay, let's go to the brief description about Kamala Surayya. I have already given you such a brief description here. However, let's go for further reading about her. Kamala Surayya. Okay, here it is telling about her writing. She has written under the name Kamala Das, and her married name was Kamala Das, and she has written also under the same pen name Kamala Das, but Kamala Surayya, she just assumed that name after she embraced Islam. It was in 1999. Okay, and her noted poems and autobiography. Autobiography is just about my story, a book written by her, my story. Then she opens an honest and her open and honest treatment of female sexuality, free from any sense of guilt, infused her writing with power, and she got hope after freedom. And here she also marked her as an iconoclast. Iconoclast. Who is an iconoclast? A person who is just standing against the rituals of the society, who is just voicing against the tradition of the society, and she just stood against all these rituals. So she is being called an iconoclast. Also, the same word is she is a maverick, Maverick. Maverick also we are getting the same meaning, maverick, in her generation. Then let's go to the here in the next slide. You can just listen to her own voice. The poem In Love has been recited by herself here. Just listen to her own voice. Kamala Surayya herself has recited the poem here. Just let's go to the next slide, and you can just listen to that her voice here in the next slide. Okay, let's go to the next one. Here you can just listen her voice. She has been reciting the poem here. Okay, just got it.
Burning mouth of sun, burning in today's sky, remind me. Oh yes, his mouth, and his limbs like pale and carnivorous plants, reaching out for me. And the sad lie of my unending lust. Where is room, excuse, or even need for love? For isn't each embrace a complete thing, a finished jigsaw, when mouth on mouth I lie, ignoring my poor moody mind, while pleasure with deliberate gaiety trumpets harshly into the silence of the room. At noon I watch the sleek crows flying like poison on wings, and at night from behind the Bardwan road the copse sparrows cry, "Bol Hari Bol," a strange lazing for moonless nights, while I walk the veranda sleepless. A million questions awaken me, and all about him and the skin-communicated thing that I dare not yet in his presence call our love.
So this is the poem. She just recited it. Let's go to the next slide. That is, poem is like here. Oh, what does the burning mouth of sun burning in today's sky remind me? Oh yes, his mouth and his limbs like pale and carnivorous plants reaching out for me. And the sad lie of my unending lust. She is just talking about here a burning mouth. And the same way she is talking about the burning sun. What the comparison is going on between here? What does the burning mouth of sun burning in today's sky? Just while she just looked at the sky, she can see the burning sky in the sky, the burning sun in the sky. The same way she is just comparing the mouth to the burning sun. Whose mouth she is talking about? She is talking about the mouth of her lover in a relationship, in a sexual intercourse. She is knowing the heat of the mouth. That's why she used the mouth, she used the comparison of mouth with the sun. Why? The sun is very hot. The same way his mouth was also very hot. Burning in today's sky reminded me. Oh yes, his mouth and his limbs like pale and carnivorous plants reaching out for me. So here the limbs means legs and hands, just like pale and carnivorous plants reaching out for me. These plants, his hands, his legs, he is just this hands and legs are approaching me like a carnivorous plant. What is a carnivorous plant? Carnivorous plant means a flesh-eating plant. It is a non-veg plant, a flesh-eating plant. So she is in body, she is in flesh. So this person, this lover, just approaching her only to get her body, not her mind. So she used this word here, carnivorous plants. So he is just approaching me as a just coming near to me as a carnivorous plant, reaching out for me. He is reaching out for me and the sad lie of my unending lust. He is just coming to me, but something is sad there. What is that? I am in sadness. I am just lying there with a sad mood of my unending lust. Here, really what I want from him is not the lust. What I want from him is the real love, but I am not getting that love from that person. I am only getting the lust from that person, and in that lust I am not satisfied really, but I am just obeying his words. I am just obeying his words. Where is room, excuse, or even need for love? Is not. Embrace a complete thing, a finished jigsaw, when mouth to mouth I lie, ignoring my poor moody mind, while pleasure with deliberate gaiety trumpets harshly into the silence of the room. Here, where is room, excuse, or even need for love? Now, room. What's a room? A room is for us. For what purpose we are using a room? We are using a room to get rest. Really, we want to, whenever we want to get rest, we are just going to room and we will take rest from there. But here, the room is an excuse or even need for love. As per the view of the poet, she says that the room is now, she is just considering the room only to fulfill the need for love. Or it is an excuse. It is not each embrace a completing thing, a finished jigsaw. He is embracing me, but it is not a complete embracing. He is hugging me, but it is not a complete hugging, because she is not really satisfied with the relationship, or she is not really satisfied with this sexual relationship with that person. The embracement is there, the hugging is there, everything is there, but she is not really satisfied in that, in everything. I finished the jigsaw. Now, after the completion of this embracement, and it is like finishing a jigsaw. A jigsaw means what? A jigsaw is a puzzle where we are just answering some questions. Finish the jigsaw. When mouth on mouth I lie, ignoring my poor moody mind. Really, while I am just lying on the bed, I am really not happy. I am in poor moody mind. My mind is not clear. Only he wants my body, so my mind is not clear, my mind is not satisfied with this relationship. However, I am just lying in the bed, ignoring my poor moody mind, while pleasure with the deliberate gaiety. Then here I have to pretend that I am being satisfied. With deliberate gaiety means joyfulness or the happy mood. With deliberate gaiety trumpets harshly into the silence of the room. Here what happens, she is just lying in the room and the person is coming and something going on between them, but she is not really happy with that life, this gaiety, this enjoyment, trumpets harshly, and after finishing everything he just says, or he just feels that he has won over this woman. Trumpet means a musical instrument on which the people are just playing. That time it will produce a sound. So, deliberate like our tabla, gaiety trumpets harshly into the silence of the room. Now, everything is silence in the room. Only the trumpet of that person can be heard. That means he thinks that he has won over this person, this lady, or sometimes it may be our poetess herself. We don't know who she's talking about. However, a lady is there, trumpets harshly into the silence of the room. Then, first of the poem, at the beginning of the poem, we can see that she is talking about morning time here. She is just switching into noon time. At noon, I watch the sleek crows flying like poison on wings, and at night, from behind the Bedouin road. She says that now at noon, morning is over now. At noon, what is there at noon? At noon, what she sees? While just she is opening the window, and while just she is just seeing through the window, she sees one thing. What is that? The crows. She sees the crows flying like poison on wings. Here, she sees crows. They are flying in the sky, but they have the poison on their wings. The same way, just if we just compare this crows with our own life, we can see that, we can understand that the people who are watching these crows in the sky may feel that they are very happy because they are flying in the sky. They are getting freedom. They are being freed from everything. But and here in the poem, let's see some metaphor and simile. Simile like carnivorous, okay, that is as the crows are free from everything. The people may feel like that who are just seeing this, or this watching the flight of this crow. Sometimes may feel like that, but in the same way, the poet is not free from everything. She is being locked in the room, and she is just in the room now. While she is like just looking through the window, she sees the crows flying in the sky. They have the poison on their wings, and at night, in the same way, she is now, because sometimes the other people may think that the poet is very free. She doesn't have the burden of the homely works. Everything will be done by some others. She is free, but in her mind, she is not free, or she is not happy. From behind the Bedouin road, and the corpse bearers cry bol hari bol, a strange lacing for moonless nights while I walk the veranda sleepless. A million questions awake in me, and all about him, and these things communicate the thing that I dare not yet in his presence call our love. Night from behind the Bedouin road. Bedouin road is a street in Calcutta. As I told you earlier, she just spent her childhood in Calcutta, and she's talking about this Bedouin road now here. The corpse bearers cry. Corpse bearers means dead body. The dead body bearers, some people are just taking a dead body into the pyre, or into the cemetery, or into the graveyard. Anyway, they are just calling out. They are crying out. Bol hari bol. That is the system of the people there. If in our place here, while the dead body of a Muslim is being taken into the graveyard of mosque, the people will chant like this, La ilaha illallah. Like the same way, the people there in Calcutta is chanting, or they are just crying like Bol Hari Bol, while these corpses are being taken into fire. A strange lacing for moonless night. This night she sees a moonless night. What is the moonless night? Moonless night also is an ill omen. Most of the people see the crows as an ill omen. The same way, this moonless night also is an ill omen. She does not feel happy in that night. While I walk the veranda sleepless, and she is just walking through the veranda. Why she is walking through the veranda? Because she is not getting satisfaction in that room, and she is not ready to sleep there, because that is a sleepless night in her life. So she just went to the veranda, and she just walked through the veranda. That time, a million questions awake in me. A million questions. Not a question, but a million questions. It's a hyperbole, sometimes like that. A million questions awake in me and all about him. A question, not a question, but a million questions came to her mind. All these questions were about this person. These questions was about this person. And the skin communicated thing that I dare not yet in his present call our love. And
In our course of it is only a skin communication. He does not like such life with him. So she really uh, calls this only skin communicated life.
and a million questions awake in me on about all about him and the skin communicated thing that I dare not yet in his presence call our love. This poem was taken from Summer in Calcutta, and let's go to the next slide. Okay, the next slide is the definition of the poems I have given here. You can just go through that slide. Yeah, something is given. The limbs is the carnivorous pants reaching out to devour her, lust as are like. Imaginary, she appears consumed rather than fulfilled. She realizes this relationship is not what she would like it to be. Anyway, just I skip that slide because we don't have enough time to go through that one. But however, you must read it. Just press the pause and you read it completely. Only after finishing the first slide, you just go to the next one. Yeah, this second slide. Read it, and I'm just going to the next one. Just skipping here, but you don't skip this one. You have to read it just by pressing the pause. The poem shows the dehumanization of the decoupling of love and lust as the narrator experiences it. Here also, I'm just going to skip. Here, there are some books here written by Kamala Surayya. The first one is Madhavikutti's story, Ende Kada, my story. This Ende Kada has been translated into many languages, English, Hindi, and some other languages also. And my story. And I suggest you must read the story, Ende Kada, my story. It's a must-read book. And some other Malayalam novels also have been given here. Niyamadalam Bhutakalam is one of her notable writings. Another one is that Vandikalagal. It's also from her. And there are some other quotings of Kamala Surayya. It's very nice. Just read it. You will get some very nice quotings from Kamala Surayya. This one is the book written about her by Yogindra Paul, a post-colonial genius. According to the writer, Kamala Das is a genius, post-colonial genius. There are some other books written about her. You can just search it and read it. Anyway, I suggest you, at least you must read in my story. As a student of literature, you just go for the English version, not the Malayalam one. Malayalam version also there under the title Endekada, but it is the same story has been translated into English. So I suggest you, recommend you to go for the English version. That's very nice because the language of this story is very simple. Anybody can read and understand, and also some quotings have been given here. Anyway, let's wind up the class. As usual, thanks for watching. Goodbye.